for you? What stood out?
I think now March data is much stronger than the market had expected, but I think we already had a forecast well above the market consensus. So, but it's still a little surprise for us.
Still higher than yours.
Yeah, it's still
right?
so strong. I think two key takeaway from the data. One is the stimulus is kicking in. So if you look at corporate loans, especially long-term and medium-term loans, that means it's a very strong rise, which means it's partially reflecting the government investment in infrastructure projects and also, the target loan supports to those manufacturing corporates. So that's reflecting the stimulus part. But we think a more interesting sign is from the household sector, I think, which is more, by us, it's a better gauge of the demand recovery because, on the household side, it's more difficult for the government to really push. So it's really reflecting that demanding is recovering. So we see the household loans, especially both short-term and long-term loans, are recovering on year-on-year basis. It's increasing from last year, and especially the long-term loans, which are mostly mortgage loans, it has increased year-on-year for the second consecutive month after dropping for over a year. So that's a very positive sign that the housing market is on the remedy. So the demand for mortgage loans is also, recovering. Although it's still at a quite low level, but we think that's a sign of a turning point. Maybe the housing market is beginning to stabilize.
Is there any suggestion here from this data that this can be sustainable, the pace of this credit growth that we've seen?
Yeah, we think so, because in the second quarter, government still looks like they're in the, easing policy stance. They just cut RRR in March, so that would be, continue to support the lending, I think, in the second quarter. And we also expect probably there'll be some rate cut probably likely in the second quarter. So that's also supporting. I think the stimulus is still flowing to, and if the demand keeps recovering, keeps picking up, that's also support for the credit in the second quarter.
You talk about a rate cut. Do you think we'll get that next week? There's an MLF that's maturing. In what form do you think we'll get it? And what's your guesstimate when that might
Probably not so soon, because it depends on, because you see the first quarter credit data already so strong, and we just had the RRR cut in March, so probably they still want to wait 1 or 2 more months before the next move.